Well, trick-or-treating can present some big challenges for kids and families, especially when they have a food allergy. And here to keep you up to date with all the tips on how you can keep your child or grandchild safe is Cleveland Clinic dietitian Jennifer Hyland.
Hi,
Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you so much.
So we think about Halloween. It's fun. The kids are dressing up, they're getting candy, but especially if you have a child or grandchild with an allergy, it can be a really scary night.
Absolutely. It can be really stressful for parents. You don't know what the kids are going to get. You don't necessarily know what's in the food. So we want to talk about kind of some ways that we can maybe give safe foods or non-candy foods as well.
So before we get into all of that, I want to bring up this pumpkin.
Yes.
Because I remember when I first started seeing these teal pumpkins, I just thought, oh, it's a fun little twist on Halloween. Then I did a little bit of research and it actually has a bigger meaning.
It does, yeah. So the teal pumpkin is something from the Food Allergy Association, and basically it means that you are going to have allergy-free treats. So that might mean, I usually suggest non-food treats because then it's safe for all food allergens. But if parents are trick-or-treating and they see this teal pumpkin at someone's house, that's like an amazing sign that they have things that are going to be safe for your kiddos. And they have buckets, even teal pumpkin buckets.
I have seen those too,
Yeah, so kids with allergies could carry around, but you don't want to be asking questions when you're trick-or-treating, right? You just get the kids to say trick-or-treat, that's good enough.
Right, and especially if they're old enough, they're like, Mom, Dad, come on.
Exactly. So it's really helpful, then you know that that place has something safe.
So let's talk about some of the safe options, because when we talk about allergies, the first thing for me that comes to mind is a peanut or a tree nut allergy.
Yes,
but
absolutely.
what are the most common?
Yeah, so there are 9 top food allergens, so you don't know what each kid is going to have, right? They might have gluten, they might have dairy, they might have nuts or anything like that. So a lot of candy, they might contain some of that.
Sure.
And, you know, we don't know exactly what they're going to have. Most candies that are going to be safer are going to be those that are more like sweet, not chocolate-based, right? Because then it doesn't have the milk in there. So, so we want to make sure that we can have options for all of them.
You know, and I'm looking at the screen right now, and this really puts things into perspective. 1 in 13 children. I think about my 7-year-old. He has about 20-some people in his class. So on average, at least 2 people in that class.
Right, and it's hard to find a candy that you know is going to be safe for everyone.
Right.
So that's why I love to go with also some non-candy items as well. And it can be really fun, you know. So what I love to give out sometimes is like, so candy too, obviously I give out candy. But these slap bracelets, I don't know if you remember these.
I do.
But
I used to collect them.
Yes, they're so fun. So slap bracelets, we have temporary tattoos. These ones glow in the dark, so these can be really fun. And then also things like these applesauce pouches here, these can be great. It's just unsweetened applesauce, so you know it's going to be safe. These little clementines here.
Those are so cute.
Yes,
you did that too.
So I worked an event last weekend, and kids chose these clementines over the candy.
Really?
Shockingly,
Oh, that is really interesting.
So it's just fun to kind of have some different things that you know, they get so much candy, and sometimes
trust me. Oh, I know. And I think it's also important to remind the kids too. You know, when you're trick-or-treating, don't just take a piece of candy. I remember when I was little, we had to lay out the candy on the counter. My mom would literally go through every piece. I don't do that nowadays, but I do take a look at it just to make sure.
Absolutely. And again, if you have a kid with food allergies, you have to check that food label.
You do. So now I see gummy bears.
Yes.
Are those generally
So gummy bears are generally safe for food
but again,
allergies.
you have to read the labels.
You have to read the label, and those aren't necessarily going to be safe for toddlers all the time. So from a safety and choking standpoint, there's different things to be aware of with that too.
So, you know, we're talking about if your child or grandchild has an allergy and you're going trick-or-treating, but for people who are watching that want to be able to provide something for the people in the neighborhood, what would be your biggest recommendation?
So I love the idea of having a candy basket and a non-candy basket. I think that's the best way to go, truly. It's the safest way. It's the way that you can encompass all food allergens for all kids, and it's going to be the most fun way for a kid.
You know, and I think too, unless you have a child with an allergy or one of their best friends with an allergy, sometimes it's something that we tend to take for granted.
You don't think about it all the
time. To
time.
be able to have, you know, the teal pumpkins, the teal buckets, 2 bucket options. So many good tips.
Them that. And you know, it does come down to parents at the end of the day, right? Reading their food labels and checking all of that. And the kids learning that we don't want to be just eating things as we walk around on trick or treat. So just some education from that standpoint.
And when in doubt, a cute little clementine.
Yes,
thank you
we
so
love
much.
it. Yes, thank you.